Okay.
The economy has just started to turn south again. We don't have 3% growth, we've got much less. We don't have strong job creation, it's been cut in half. We don't have strong disposable income, it's flat, and it's being eaten into by high food prices and high gas prices. We're getting worse off. So what does the president do? Does he come up with a new policy that has get the economy going, manage the debt, and get things working again, bring us back to prosperity? No, he comes up with class warfare, beat up on the rich. That's the way to prosperity? I don't think so. The economy in America is heading south, and we do not have an administration that's prepared to deal with it.
Back off from
Yes,
that now.
and now, I'm sorry, Eric, but now the economy is heading south again. For the third time in 3 years, all those spring, fresh, green shoots of recovery trampled all over again.
You know, for so many weeks we were approaching 350. I think we dipped below 350,000. First time unemployment claims. People walked in. Those are exact numbers. They're not an estimate the way the unemployment rate is at the beginning of every month for the prior month. That's not good news. You want to see it pushing below 350, towards 300. That's an economy that's creating jobs. Last month, the most recent rate, we saw it tick down, but there are only 120,000 jobs, I think, were created, and a lot of them were temporary jobs. The unemployment situation is getting a little bit shaky right now. The administration won't be able to do a victory lap for that number.
Have anything to do with the jobs created number that we saw last week, which was lower, even though the unemployment rate had gone down from 8.3%, I believe, to 8.2%.
Right.
The number of jobs created was about 100,000 less than they thought. It was somewhere in the 100,000s instead of 200,000.
Remember, that number that they put out, it's called the situation report, unemployment situation report, labor report, comes out. It's a telephone survey. They literally pick up the phone and survey 60,000 homes and say, are you working? Are you looking for work? Have you given up? So there's a lot of room for leeway in that number, and some people say that number can be skewed. Has become partisan, which would be a scary thing if the Bureau of Labor Statistics has become a partisan tool for an administration.
No kidding. Today, over blaming Republicans for the bad numbers.
Are you saying Republicans are getting in the way of job creation?
I'm saying that the partisanship that we perceive, particularly from the House of Representatives, I think has blocked us from having a stronger job market.
Texas Republican Congressman Louis Gohmert is not buying any of that. He joins us right now. So, Congressman, you're stopping all this progress.
Well, you know, I guess I shouldn't be surprised they didn't send us a thank you note in the House of Representatives, but I printed out a little graphic. This is where unemployment was when the president came into office, down at 7.8. It continued to go up and up. The more he did, the more he had complete control of the country. Pelosi over the House, Reid over the Senate. He got everything he wanted, and the unemployment kept going up, up, up. And here it spiked in November of 2010 and then started coming down. And the reason it started coming down is that people knew Republicans would have control of the House. We'd stop the insanity. But here lately, he's been doubling down. You know, people have needed to know, was Obamacare maybe not going to happen so they could have security about the future? And then the president doubles down, comes after the Supreme Court. He still says he's going to take action without regard to Congress. Like with regard to the coal-powered plants. There's 140 coal-powered plants, including in East Texas, where people are on hold. They're not sure. There was a judge that put a stay on the new regulations, but they're not sure what's going to happen.
Would you think that is stymieing the job growth? In other words, if he were to reverse policy on that we have a measurable impact on jobs?
That's one of many things, but the regulations are killing people. And then to have announcements that, gee, we think we need to increase taxes. There is so much uncertainty created by his mean-spirited going after business that people who are employed right now, I was talking to restaurant owners last night who were saying they're counting pennies. They're trying to be very careful. People are not coming out. They're paying so much for gasoline, which he's got 2 or 3 times as high as it was when he took office, and he needs to take credit. He's done a great thing. One of the few things he's done in keeping promises was promising energy prices would skyrocket. He's done a good job on that one. But it's got people seriously concerned concerned about whether they should go out and spend money. That's why you're seeing the problems with retail. If he would get out of the way and let Congress, especially the House of Representatives, bring about the will of the people, then he would see a lot more confidence around the country, and then he'd be taking credit for the unemployment rate going down. But
You know, when I was asked earlier about the issue of coal, you know, under my plan of a cap and trade system, electricity rates would necessarily skyrocket. Even, you know, regardless of what I say about whether coal is good or bad, because I'm capping greenhouse gases, coal-powered plants, you know, natural gas, you name whatever the plants were, whatever the industry was, they would have to retrofit their operations. That will cost money. They will pass that money on to consumers.